Hello, hello, and this is a bit of an impromptu live, so welcome to anyone who joins me or joins me after the fact. Today we're going to try and get something up to the mod standard of this model. It's probably the best one I've painted so far, and I've managed to get some parchment done, and I've managed to get some cloth done, and it looks, in my opinion, at least half decent. But I've got a lot of other models that need doing that. So let's start. So we're painting parchments, cloths, and leathers today, and I've got a lot of them that for just some reason like to hide behind stupid places. So this is what we're going to try and do. Start with an ivory paint, go over all the cloth work, and while that dries we're going to go through a red paint and do all the red bits, and then when that dries we can wash all the white stuff and all the ivory stuff, and hopefully it's going to work. Now, I've seen this done online. It followed many intended to follow the basis of many techniques. But just because you've seen something done doesn't mean you get a chance of doing it yourself unless you practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. So guess what we're doing today? We are practicing. So first of all, we need a slightly damp brush, because you should never start with a wet brush, with a dry brush. Even when you're dry brushing, which is weird, I know, but you should still never have a dry brush. Let's go painting all the fabricy bits on, how many is it? 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 models we're going to try and get through, but with just simple stages of what we need to do. See, very black person, lots of black primer on him. Let's ivory up the cloth, or loin cloth, because it is covering his loin very well. So have I glued this guy in shielding? No, I haven't. Awesome, that means I can move it out of the way and actually get behind it and paint behind it for a change, rather than have to struggle because I've glued the thing in place. Never good. Hello, Ezra. Thank you very much, because you're making this video possible. Today I will be using a contrast paint, and this is a contrast paint that has been sent by the one and only fantastic Ezra. I appreciate him for that, and it's a brilliant paint. It's much better than I thought they were, or what I thought they were going to be, and that's why I'm going to see if we can use it as a wash today to go over all the loinclothy bits and use it as its straight contrast self to do the leather pieces, because it does do leather very well. I'm not quite sure how I'm ever going to replicate that if I run out of this stuff, but while I have it I intend to use it for all my leather pieces and as a wash as well, because, well, if I've got it I might as well make use of it. What I might end up doing, I know I didn't think I'd ever get a video sponsorship, but hey, if I get sent something, I am more than happy to give a shout out to the person who sent it to me. The green worked well as well. The green worked absolutely awesome. In fact, that is the best model I have painted to date, and that is using 3 contrasts. 2 of them you sent to me, as the brown and the green are both using the ones that you sent to me, and over that all I've pretty much done is a dry brush, and it's turned out better than anything I've painted so far. So yes, thank you very much for that. I will say that every time I see you, because until I get better at painting and I no longer need contrasts, those things will be making me look like I can paint a hell of a lot better than I actually can. But now we've got to do all the line cloths and wait for the down things to dry. Let's see, this looks like it's gone out a little thick already. That is not a good sign. And getting fluff on your brush isn't a good thing either. However, being able to remove his shield, I don't think I'll run out of the green. The one I'm going to run out of more than anything is the brown, I think, surprisingly enough, because I'm going to be using that for leather and for the parchment wash, which I will show you what I mean when I get around to it eventually, because this is, again, all those pro painters on there and people like Squidmar and what's he called? I've completely forgotten his name. It's called Scott, but I can't remember his channel's name. They're all very good painters and video editors, but because it's cut so short, you don't actually get to see the man hours and the practice and everything that goes into it. So as I said, don't worry about helping on the brown, I'll be okay. I've got snakebite leather and I should be able to get some thinning medium to bring it down into a similar consistency to a contrast paint, if I'm lucky. If I'm not, I'm just going to make a complete mess of it, but that's not too bad because I can strip it back down and start again. That's the great thing about these. Little bit of nail polish remover and ka-chink. The model is back to ready to be repainted. So everything that's got to be painted, leather, all that I'm going to try and wash over, all that is going to be a parchment. I will be painting in an ivory in this case. I know that is my big thing. They do make it look so easy, and they say you just do this and you just do this technique and this technique and this technique. And then when you actually sit down and try to do it, you realize it is not as easy as they make it look. And I intend to prove that it's not as easy as they make it look, unless you get the practice by, well, essentially practicing online. So people don't get discouraged and think, I can't do it to their standards. You don't have to do it to their standard. You have to do it to your standard. And the standard that you're happy with is the good enough standard. Not everybody's going to be able to do it picture perfect, realism, and get it looking fantastic all the time. It's just not possible. Some people just don't have the general ability to start with. Whether they practice or not, some people will just never be able to get it like that. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get it like that. There's only one way I'm going to be able to find that out, and that is to try. So I intend to try. Due to illness in my house, though, I've not been able to go on as usual. So that's why I've called this afternoon. Is I need to get some painting done this week and next week, and I don't know if I want to get any other time apart from today. Now, to me, that looks like his cloth actually comes down through his middle rift there. Let's see if we can bring it up. Actually seems focus. 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 Focus, please. You're just not going to focus. Right. Essentially, it looks like the cloth continues down through his midriff from his under armour. So we're going to paint that as well. I really can't remember what that other guy's called. I really can't remember what he was called. But Today is practice day. And what's happened to my paint? Don't tell me my paint cam's died already. I've only just plugged it in. I've only just set it up. Why has it gone off on me? It's just technical difficulties straight away. I've only just started. I've only been on 10 minutes. Why have you completely died on me? Hello, Isha. Thank you for joining me. Right, let's see if I can get this one to work instead. If you've got more battery, you have more battery. Yes, I know that one's disconnected. That's because the battery's just died on me. Right. Now I've got to try and set the other camera up midway through the stream again. I really need to get this sorted and have a better camera, I believe. But in the meantime, it's not actually a better camera. My camera's good enough. It's just I need to remember to charge the darn thing. Right, let's see if I can not knock my models over for a start. That does help. And now I've got to set this camera up so it works with StreamYard. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Does my forward-facing camera even work on this one? I don't know. Yes, allow mic and camera access because I've not used this one with it before. Turn the call volume down. It is using that, but I want to take the mic off. And then I want to put it into set holder. No, I don't want to take it out of the holder and actually put a name in. So this is going to be my paint camera. And not the model over again. Because of course I have. Why not? Everything that I try to do impromptu always goes 100% how I want it to. Add to stream. There we go. At least we've got some kind of camera showing you what I am painting. Fingers crossed we don't drop it. So, where was I up to? I was up to ivory with both brushes have been used. I think I was using this one. Yes, I was using my number 3 brush. Always nice. I think that's it done. Okay, that's the base ivory done. Start echoing. If you hear noises in the background, yes, I am doing this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and my toddler is awake, and I'm in the living room, so there may be some background noise. I do apologise, but well, we do what we must and do what we can. And he's gonna be. Joys of children, they just make you smile. Are you okay? Oh, are you okay? Oh. There we go. There we go. You all right, mate? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Daddy.
Yes, mate.
I keep on coughing. Let's go.
That's because you've been poorly. Keep telling you need to go sit down and rest under that blanket and get better, but you don't listen. You just run around like headless chicken. Oh, have you got the special crisps? Did she? Well, sit down and eat them then. So, over the parchment bits and anything that's going to be leather covered. I have got quite a few of these to do, so it's going to be very, very boring, you know. But I don't think it's going to be boring. Hopefully you don't think it's boring either. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. But always, and I'm probably said this on every video, always thin your paint. It's probably the best piece of advice I have ever received regarding painting miniatures. Thin your paints. Don't just use them straight out of the pot. Otherwise they go on too thick. The problem is when you're using paints like ivory, it is a very high pigment content. So if you thin it down, it doesn't go on like it in a one smooth coat. You will have to give it a second coat of at least the base color, if not something else over the top of it to get it to the color that you would like. As you can see, you can't because I've changed camera, haven't I? Change the light around a minute. You can see that the dark part at the bottom is not quite as bright as his gun section or his holster for his pistol. But we shall persevere. Oh, am I getting feedback from something? What am I getting feedback from? I believe it is the camera that doesn't want to work. Back of his tabard. The other thing is going around the model and making sure you don't miss any parts while you're using a colour, because what you don't want to do is come back and find that you've got to do an entire section in a colour that you're not using anymore or that you've put away and you finish with because you've moved on to the next one. So fronts and backs of everything as it's needed, and drop the model of course, because that's just what I do. I think I've dropped every model I own at least once in the process of painting. Still haven't figured out why they put pieces of paper on their armour when they're going into battle, but they do. And that means I've got to paint pieces of parchment. I'll get right down in there. So yes, I have a lot of background noise today. Namely because I'm not doing it at stupid o'clock in the morning, which means I've got a better chance to actually get it right without being too tired to mess it up. Let me see, we've got pockets on the back. I'm probably going to get a copyright strike, but never mind. If you enjoy the extra sound and background noise, please let me know. I can always arrange for it to be there again. I'm not actually sure what it is today. Something. Oh, a new paint set. Oh, don't get Yarrick. I hate that guy. He just doesn't die. He's only got like 5 wounds. Toughness 3. Alright, he's got an impulse save. But that stand up after your last wound thing needs to be sorted out. Needs to be put in the same realm as Gurliman or one of the others like him. So he's not ridiculously overpowered. He only gets to use it once rather than every time he falls over. Every time he gets to use his last wound. Because that is just ridiculously overpowered. Only need green and grey. Oh, you'll probably need more colours than that, really. Even though my colour scheme is black, silver and blue, I'm having to use ivories, reds, golds, bronze, brasses. I'm having to stick a lot more other colours on than what just the base colour scheme is. Right, this one is going to have ivory across there and down there for its parchment and down there. So it's a lot of ivory on something that's predominantly black, which will itself add a bit of brightness to the model. No, not for a Spitfire plane. I'll let you off with that one. That's going to be mostly, but you're still going to have a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, because obviously you've got these little circles on the side, and you've got you'll have your squad markings and things like that. So you will have to use all the colours. Even something basic as a Spitfire, you will have to use more colours than just the camo green, grey for the. You'll have to use black for the tyres. The propellers, and then you've got your propeller cone. If you paint them all in the same colour, they're all just going to blend into each other. So you're going to have to give them washes, pigments. And hopefully that will help that section stand out away from all the rest. Which is kind of what you want. You want every little bit to be its own little piece to look at, but it works all as one big piece to look at. Which is why I'm struggling so much with this. Oh, you're cheating. You're using transfers. I wish I could use transfers for things I needed. I still need to buy that special paper that I found out about and make my own. Because Games Workshop don't sell squad markings in individual transfer sheets. You only usually get enough to make one squad off each sheet if you're lucky. So in my case, I would need to buy a lot of extra models that I don't actually need, just to get a lot of arrows and crosses and skull transfers. And I'd rather not do that. I would much rather not do that if I could help it. So I'm going to try the print your own method. Fingers crossed is going to work, but I've not yet tried that. Okay. Oh, so you put an Airfix style, everything in one box kit. See, that's not a bad idea. Why couldn't I get into a nice cheap hobby like that? Oh, I don't know, crack cocaine, something much cheaper. Less time consuming. I don't advise, I'm not advocating drugs, by the way. I'm just saying that it will probably be cheaper to do drugs than collect Warhammer 40,000. It does get given the nickname of plastic crack for a reason. many cheaper hobbies than doing this. Now, how have they ended up with that effect off as well? Mottled ever so slightly. Oh, that's nice of him. It's very nice of him. I'm going to count my 2 contrasts as birthday presents, even though I've opened them early. I really should be doing this way around so you can actually see the slow progress. If I am getting feedback on vocals or voice or sound, if anyone would like to let me know, that would be very appreciated. Shiny Tops has gone in? Oh, really? Has it not just disappeared into the realm of Dungeons and Dragons? Might just be very into whatever his project is at the moment. He doesn't want any spoilers. Either that or he's cleaning the sprues up that I sent him, because some of them were very old. Some of the sprues probably actually go back to 3rd edition, in fairness. Lovely dripping nose. Just what you need when you're doing this.
I'm going with one more. Mommy, my tummy's rumbling. Mommy, you got my belly. Oh, you got my belly. Rumble.
Would you like a sandwich? Do you want a sandwich?
Yeah.
Do you want chicken and cheese on it?
Yeah.
You can have chicken and cheese on it if you want. Although I'm probably going to get a very dodgy look behind me as I've just volunteered my partner to go make a chicken and cheese sandwich. Yeah, I got a very dodgy look.
What cheese do you like? Cheese if you want cheese slice. Cheese slice.
Okay, which way do you go? You go a bit further lower than that, don't you? There we go, fingerprint out. Yes, you did see the album flying off as I dropped the model again. There we go. Next one. Yes, you have anyone who's paying attention to a lot of blade guards I'm doing at this moment. Which, if they ever do play you as it, be prepared to face them on the battlefield because they will tear their way through your infantry. Only 3-man squads, you wussies won't do much. Okay, see, this time I got it a little bit too wet. So let's pop that, let's dry that off a bit and so I'll swell that back up. And then spread it around. So we can get more of an even coverage. The lucky thing is, it's pretty much the same model over and over and over again. So as long as I remember, it's only got a couple of parchment bits and some back on the pouches. Fine, I'll still go for your tanks.
Let's begin. Oh God! Oh God!
So to practice, make sure that you're getting all of the areas that we want. So in this case, we only want the pouch. We don't want the grenade thing next to it. We do want the parchment bits down his side of his leg, which I forgot a moment ago. Let's go back through a model again. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Having to go back and correct it is all part of the learning curve. That's all the parchment bits. That was one 3-man squad. Back to this. Are you singing for the people on the internet?
Let's check out what the ones are doing today.
I don't know.
There's another one.
Is there?
Running.
More granites. He doesn't need any more granites. He needs granites like I need space marines. And I only need 4 more space marines. Really. I think that's the one thing that I can't actually feel. Is focus marines. Are there any more parchment bits apart from the one on the What happened to your crisps? It is a big hole that you end up getting now. If you go down such fully arm it as the grey knights as well.
Daddy,
Yes, mate.
Daddy,
Yes, mate.
can I count them one more time?
Of course you can count them one more time.
Yay!
I'm not sure what you counted, but you can count it.
10.
Oh, you blocks. Don't throw them across the room then, please.
Throw them back.
I know, but you might hit Daddy. And Daddy's on the camera, look. And as much as people will find it absolutely hilarious to see me lamped in the side of the head with a rubber block, I wouldn't find it as funny.
Daddy.
Thank you very much.
But I want to be at it as well.
You want to be on it as well?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not letting you go up on this camera, mate, because this camera is live on YouTube. If you ask Mummy really nicely, she can put it up on the telly, but she's got to turn the volume down. So you can watch Daddy on YouTube, but you don't really need to because I'm sat right here. Yeah, I've got a 6'3" fridge, and mine takes up almost as much room as my 6'3" fridge. That's not including my painting stuff. That's just my Space Marines arcs and scenery. All the painting stuff is still upstairs. And I have a tray of things that won't fit in. So I don't know what I'm going to do if I do end up with more Space Marines or more models. I have no idea where I'm going to put them. I don't have enough boxes. I don't have enough trays. I certainly don't have enough room. Second house room. Put a lot of clutter in. Oh, Daddy, move his cup of tea out of the way. You can sit down on the table. My terrain's kind of a combination at the moment. I've got some official Warhammer stuff because I collected the Hatchet Conquest magazine. I did the subscription for that one, so I've got bits with that. But I also found some essentially laser cut wood, MDF, and I've got some buildings made out of that I am changing up and adding parts to make them look more fitting for the setting. And then I've got pieces that I'm making for the arts where it is just completely kit bashed together out of scrap things that I found. And yeah, that was not going so well because some of the pieces don't fit together. Ow, that hurt my ears because I got it in stereo. You're very loud, do you know that?
Yeah, it's that. The rubbish bits in the bin. Once it down,
There we go. Sit down, wait for dinners. Or your lunch.
cookie.
Cookie.
Cookies.
You're not having cookies. Have you got cookies? Oh, wow.
Yummy cookies.
You've got star-shaped sandwiches. Let's see the pride.
Wow.
Wow. 6 other people buying that magazine for is going to end up with a lot of sisters, a lot of admech, and a huge ton of necrons. I mean, overkill on necrons. You might actually be able to match me. Well, that's a good thing, I suppose. That's probably the closest chance I'll have to actually use my full army. If he keeps all the necrons. If he doesn't, then I won't have much of a chance. So yeah, I've come to the conclusion that I hate ivory paint because of the pigment distribution once you thinned it down. It does not behave nicely at all. Did I get the front of you? Yes, I did, but let's get the back of you. Well, before I start your loincloth, mate, I'm going to finish it off. So again, anyone who's watching this in the future and seeing future me, I'm not watching live me. Paying attention to each model and giving a little bit of time to each one will save you a lot of time in the future. We pay due care and diligence to it now. You don't have to go back and redo the entire model or go over the model again when you realised, oh darn, I missed that bit and that bit needs me to go do all that. So I always try to get everything in one go with the same colour that you're using. That way you're not back and forth in all the time. covering mistakes is a different thing entirely, but at least try and get the bulk of the colour done that you're trying to use. While all this ivory dries, I'm moving on to red. And then coming back to the ivory bits to go over with the brown. Either wash or straight contrast paint. Contrast paint, I believe, is the only paint I've ever used that I didn't thin down to get the results I want, which worried me at first, whether or not it was going to actually work. But once I tried it and realised you don't have to thin it down, it does work almost as it was intended to, or should I say pitched and sold as. It's not too far off. You still have to highlight and do a bit of dry brushing over the top of it, but it does do what it says. It gives you the points that you have to highlight, drops into all the recesses, and I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm actually advocating for Games Workshop. Deplorable business practices. But in this case, you've got a good product. You've not tried the Army Painter ones yet. But while I have the Games Workshop ones available, I will be using that.
Yes. What is it, Christopher?
Miniac, that's what it's called. Oh crap.
That's just
See the excitement of remembering somebody's name. I've accidentally got paint all over a different part that I shouldn't. Oh dear.
It was a bit in the middle that looked like it shouldn't be wasted. I think it
That
was
was
a
the
bit
other one who
like
paints really easy, just like Squid Knight, is Miniac.
It's a monster, not just.
Very good painter with Miniac. Then again, so is quite a few. Twisted is also a very good painter. Like the pickle jar's pretty good as well. He was saying pretty good. He's damn sight a lot better than I am. Well, again, very few of them actually show you themselves making mistakes or even complete and utter total mess ups. Because after all, who wants to look bad online? I don't think many people do. So I've been told that there's this thing called subscribe buttons and notification buttons. I have no idea if anyone even considers pressing them. Do if you want to, don't if you don't. That is your choice. You're a human being who gets to make choices in school. You get to make more choices than you realise. But that's a topic for another time. Maybe we'll do another one of them chat videos. Oh. Underdog. I've not watched Underdog for a while now, actually. He's another one. Pretty good painter. Can't deny it. Yes, could I have another cup of tea, please? He's going off his head today. I don't know why. He's just going completely nuts. There you go. Mum's just got your drink.
Yeah, I'm good at climbing.
You are good at climbing.
Yeah,
Whether or not that means you should be climbing up on top of those tables right in front of the TV and Daddy's computer is a different matter.
but I can do that.
You can doing it and should doing it are two different things, mate. Keep telling you this.
I eat a water desk.
I can run outside and chop a tree down, but I'm not going to because that's a nice tree. And I'll probably hurt myself. Can and should, two different things.
Daddy,
Yes.
I can do better than that. I can dig a hole in the tree.
You can do better than that because you can dig a hole in the tree.
Yeah.
Why would you dig a hole in a tree?
A hole in. Yeah.
Dig a hole in the ground is a bit better.
I can dig it so deep.
Are you going to be like Mr. Bull and dig a hole in the road, dig up the road? I've moved it to an evening now. I'm assuming that's why, because he was clashing with a few people, which will affect his viewership. Me not having that worry because, well,
I can make a playground out of a tree.
you can make a playground out of a tree.
Yeah.
Wow, you're really good. Is there anything else you can make out of a tree?
I can. I'm peaceable. And I can stop down on my axe.
Your axe? That's your pretend axe from your train track.
No, where's my axe? No, I'm trying to make axe.
You're using your train track like an axe.
Yeah.
Why are you using your train track like an axe? That sounds dangerous. And why have I got a feeling it's going to come flying towards me because I'm not looking at it? There's a lot of YouTubers
I know you,
who do live streams at the same time, I've noticed, particularly in this section. But depending what you want to watch, I suppose it depends which one you want to watch. If you're just watching for somebody sat there chatting away and talking and actually looking at the camera, then there are those available. And then if you are watching those for painting techniques and tips, there are those available as well. I'm neither one of those. Say that again, mate.
What can you do from? Daddy, chop the tree down with a pen down.
You're going to chop the tree down with that?
Yeah.
I don't think your train track's going to be able to chop a tree down, mate.
You know,
Or if it does, it's going to take a very long time. Even if you do pretend it's an axe, it's still going to take a long time to chop a tree down with it.
Chop a tree down. Daddy.
Good point. Has he still got the school run?
Daddy.
Yes, mate. What can I do for you?
Daddy.
Yes.
Daddy.
Yes, mate.
Daddy.
Yes, mate.
Can I go outside with my axe and chop a tree down?
No, because you're still not well.
Aww.
Well, if you would have listened to me and you would get onto the settee and get yourself all snuggled up to get yourself better, then you would have probably been able to go outside and chop a tree down today because you would have been feeling better. But instead, what you do is you ignore me and just do whatever you want, and you pretend like what Daddy says doesn't matter sometimes. And well, sorry to tell you this, but it does. Because if you want to go outside, guess who's got to let you? Me. And Mum. Has he finished? so he's going to be doing a lot more regarding his having the kids over the weekends, etc. Which means she's hobbying time will be going down. That's probably why he's not doing as many live streams. He's got the kids left to deal with. As you can hear, it's difficult to do a live stream with children in the background. Because they pretty much dominate anything and everything that goes on around them. In my case, if I say anything, it's probably going to be shouted over. And you have not been this noisy all day. You wait until I'm on camera before you start becoming this noisy. Thank you very much. He's not bothered about Daddy being on the screen. He's just bothered about screaming and shouting around the house. I'm not exactly famous. I have a grand total of, well, I think the best one I had was somewhere around 80 viewers. Thank you to those people who came and watched me. But even that was an after the fact thing, rather than actually during the stream itself. I'm very much appreciative to those who come, even if it's just to put me on in the background and leave me on half mute, just fine, if that's what they want to do. If I'm bringing anybody any happiness and enjoyment while I'm doing this, I'm getting really frustrated because the brush won't go in the right place. Try not to swear, it's only a plastic model at the end of the day. He is having a lot of fun. It's his timing that I question more than anything else. Because, well, his timing is impeccable for getting all this energy right as I click go live. I click go live and his energy levels just all of a sudden burst into just loads of energy. He's been quiet and quite content all day to watch a little bit of television or play with his toys. As soon as I click go live, ping, wide awake, running around as though he's not been ill all week. Well, for the past 2 weeks actually, which is why I've not been out. Also, I've been trying to get to grips with contrast paint that I was sent by the wonderful Leslie. In fact, I'm going to put him down here because I'm still so proud of him being my best model. He can sit in the middle there. And I'm just hoping BBC don't have a go at me because of background music. See, I'm rather fussy about what stuff of theirs goes online.
There we go, it's muted.
Hey, we no longer have BBC music in the background. That lowers my chances of getting a copyright strike. I've already got 2 of those. So yeah, those would be my eldest 2. And they definitely getting down that road. Not too happy about it, but I remember going through it myself, and well, teenagers are a pain in the backside because they think they know everything, and in fact they know none. Is he not already? I thought he was. I don't have Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to do this without? Right, mute. Refresh. And I can't see the chat. Nope, he's not letting me view the chat from there. Ah, see, this is why I have a partner who has brains, because I don't have any. I is stupid. And okay, no, this is not made for kids. No, this is not that. Where is it? No. No, I need to be in the other screen. I think. Yeah, no, I need to be on the screen. I don't need to be in. I'm distracting me from pain now. Aha, there we go. It pops up this time.
The dots.
And the dots, thank you. And there we go. I should sort that out. Done. So next time he pops in, he will have a little blue name as well. Although I think everybody who's come to watch me so far is a moderator, so that should make it fun. Hope none of you have an argument between yourselves, so that'll make it very interesting.
Mommy.
Because if you're all moderators, then, well, there's not much you can do about each other.
Mommy.
Because I know there'll be a couple of others from other places that I will also be giving that little icon to if they ever come on. And one of them who will be getting it even if I come down on that, because, well, I enjoy winding him up. Ah, it's alright, it's done now. Oh, this one's still on rocks. He should have a red gun, not a blue gun. That means I've got somebody sat there with a red gun who shouldn't have a red gun. Or at least the neo-volcanic painted, is it? Volcanic. Whereas the others have a volcanic painted as a plasma. Because I wish them to be veterans of the Blade Guards, as opposed to a lieutenant, which I don't need 5 of the same lieutenant. 2 will do fine because they take up 1 slot. I said slot. Well, still, yeah, 2's fine. Of this type. Certainly don't need 5. Please cover the metallics. Please cover the metallics. It has covered the metallics. Excellent. Now for the tiny little bits. Go in. More pieces of paper. Are you putting a piece of paper on the shield? Surely that's just going to get ripped off. Emperor protects on it. He's not going to protect a piece of paper. And I've also noticed I've missed quite a bit there with the old silver. Did I bring my silver pen in? No. No, I did not bring my silver pen in. Why? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. Yeah, I'll take it back of him. So I'm just going to carry on with the paint. Don't distract myself again. Which is the other thing that slows me down a lot. It's getting distracted by other things that shouldn't distract me. There's obviously certain things that should distract me. Responding to my little one behind me, if he comes over to talk to me, is something that will distract me and will distract me every time, regardless of what I'm doing. Realizing I need to go get a little bit of a silver pen again to colour in a little bit of shield is something I can leave until another time. As I said, don't be afraid of making mistakes. And if you missed bits, you can always go back and get it. That's the great thing about painting. You don't have to get it all at once. Have our American friends taken a break from streaming? I believe we still get some COD streams. In fact, most nights I think there's a COD stream or 3. Whether it be Declattered Beard, Erin Nicole Gaming, or Roger Gaming. I think we usually get at least one stream from over the pond a day. Oh, it's probably more than just those two. Squirrel, I believe, had a stream up not that long ago where he did a bit of an unboxing. Yeah, and there is Thanksgiving. In total, 13. I've got 9 blade guards, and then while all the ivory dries on the blade guards, I'm going to be doing red bits. And then once the red bits have been done, hopefully all the ivory is going to be dry. So that means I can go back in with a contrast paint and finish off the ivory pieces. As I said, this is a hobby that can take a long time. You need to be able to put dedication, effort, and time into it. And I can hear that. So it's going to really do my head. Because if I can hear it, that means it's echoing. And that is not good. Especially when you do something silly like that. Now, this is where the argument for sub-assembly painting comes in. Because sometimes a brush just does not get into where you want it to be. So you can paint the bit that you want because it's so well hidden behind other parts. If you would have painted it in sub-assembly, then yeah, I would have been able to paint it a lot easier. As it is, the light is helping me out to no end to make sure I can get this bit.
No.
It's helping me out a lot. Just again, thank you to anybody watching. I know Aisha is commenting, so I know she is here. Anyone else who's watching, thank you very much for giving me your time, your most precious resource. More? Ah, it's just right. Okay, he's playing a game on his tablet. Right, that explains why I can hear chicken noises. Never a good idea to start hearing farmyard animal noises when you have no idea where they come from. So let's never know why I'm hearing chicken noises. As you know why you're hearing chicken noises. My son is playing with his tablet. It's always nice to have an answer for the things that are a little bit surreal. Whoever it was went. Well, thank you anyway. You still spent a little bit of the time here. And you didn't have to. Nobody has to. Everything's optional. So yes, lots of ivory painting, and it does take a while. Practice and practice and practice, and eventually we will get to the point where we might be able to do it a little bit quicker. But to get to that point, we have to practice and doing it slowly first. There's going to be 1,006 people never hearing about this video, but still screaming, use an airbrush, you morbid, use an airbrush. No, I don't have an airbrush. Therefore, if you don't have something, you can't use it. Oh, nice white line down his leg there that I didn't need. Nice little bit of parchments and seals on there, but that seems to be a little bit too watery and wet, so let's take the paint off. Just try and take some of it off. That was overdone. There we go. See, they don't look as black now. They don't look as all black. It's actually the same model, but at least you can see a little bit of white colouring on this one now. I can't remember which one it is that I broke earlier. But it's around here somewhere, and I've got to be careful. Otherwise, his little gold ring is going to break off again. I'll have a glued your. I have not glued your hand up. Good. Let me take it off and get back here. It's the only benefit I can see to easy builds. That you can kind of assemble them and then deassemble them for painting and reassemble them again before you actually have to glue them. So you kind of can paint them in a sub-assembly state, but still be assembled, if you know what I mean. Hopefully you do. I'm not sure how to explain it without. Don't break his iron halo thing. Don't hold him up. I really should be using a painting handle, but I've only got one, and I've got more than one model to paint, and it's just a pain changing over every time I want to change models, especially when you realize, oh wait a minute, I didn't go back and paint that bit, or I didn't go back and paint that bit, and then you have to change it back to the model you just had on there to go paint a tiny little bit and swap them over again. And not everyone will have a painting handle. Some people will be doing it by hand like this. Some people will have a painting handle. Some people will stick them to corks and just have them all sat there lined up on little corks. Use them as painting handles. Whatever works for you is the best method. You can watch as many tutorials as you want, but unless it works for you, it is wrong. Your method is the correct method because your method is the method that works for you. And there are some like basic things that are just work across the board, such as thin your paints, because thick paint does go not very nicely. And if you do need to go back for a second coat, it then looks like you just dipped it in house emulsion. which I'm sure parts of mine probably will look that way to some people. They don't to me. But then again, I have to wear glasses, so my eyesight ain't exactly the best to be trusted. I've actually remembered to wear my glasses this time. And believe it or not, it's making a difference. Who'd have thunk it? Wearing your glasses while painting makes a difference. Revelations, I know, it's so good. Oh, I almost showed off a bald head then. No, it's not bald, I've actually got about a centimetre's worth of hair. But it still shines on the camera, so I have to wear a hat. At the back of the cloth. I think this is the last of my blade guards. So in this case, it'll be a waiting to dry while I do red. Unless I've got parchmenty bits to go over on the other models, which I probably have. Ooh, a bit of a stray hair there. Don't like stray bristles, they cause problems. There's a lot of models. There's a lot of models. I also need to learn how to do some of the things on this properly, such as hold cards or things like that. In fact, I never thought about doing that before. I could do it that way, couldn't I? God, I'm stupid sometimes. Why didn't I think of that before? I should have thought of that a long time ago. That would make things a lot easier. Let's just dry brush you. So remember that you're actually a rock. And you are supposed to be there. Any more bits of parchment? Any more silly bits of anything that is impractical for field or battle? Nope. Okay, you can have your hand back on that. So that's 3, 6. That's all 9 blade guards then. Who has silly bits of parchment on you? You've got a piece there. Just gonna have a red thing on top of it. Wonderful. And any more? And we're getting away lucky. We're just having the one on you. I believe, eh? Excellent. So he's only got one piece of parchment on him. This one, on the other hand, has one there. Any more? It's going back in properly that place. Nope, just the one for you. I just got all the way up to the ferrule. I must clean this brush properly later. Pardon me. So more silly little pieces of paper that have no practical use on a battlefield. Held on by a little piece of wax. Oh, wait a minute. No. That's another one. Well, that one looks like it's been ripped off. See, that's what they should all look like. It should all have been ripped off. Well, there's no point complaining about it now. The models are already there. Any more bits? No, not as usual. Right. This gentleman. Now this gentleman's got to be more of a dry brush than a painting method. I'm going to change brushes for him. And we are literally going to take the majority of the paint off the brush to the point where it's not even showing up on my hand properly. Perfect. And we're going to cover his entire jacket like this. In fact, in this case, we're going to cover pretty much most of the model. It was almost a highlighted stage before we apply anything else over the top. So this one we will be using black and brown in the contrast paint to cover his armor as well as his. You see, that's way too much paint on there. Let's see if we can fill that out a bit more, spread that around a bit. That's a very bright bit of jacket under that. That's not necessarily a good thing. Look at all these nice top edges. As well as the back of his head. Because mine is a salamander successor, I don't have to worry about skin tones, which is always a good idea. I like not having to worry about skin tones. Because I can't paint skin tones. It's one thing I am absolutely atrocious at and always have been. So in the case of this guy, this entire army, should I say, I chose to make them salamander successors because salamanders have jet black skin. And you can do that with a bit of a dry brush. And a bit of a wash. Do you know it sounds strange that I'm doing black with a wash, but you do. You do black with a wash. Especially when you've dry brushed it off as colour. And over the back of his fingers. And the back of that hand. And his glove. It definitely does not look all black anymore. Okay, now we're up to the drying stage. And the problem with the drying stage is it takes absolute ages. So let's have a look. You see, I have more than one screen open.
I've done a big pig. Wow! Dad!
Yes, mate, what can I do?
I've done a big, massive pig.
Wow, well done. I don't know if people online would like to hear that. But yay, well done, mate, well done.
Oh, fun.
You are welcome. That is such goodbye. Yes, you have heard correctly. My son has just run up to me, shouting, "Dad, I have just done a massive big poo."
Yeah, and this hurt my bum.
And it did hurt your bum. Oh, well, that's not good.
Well, that wasn't good, but that was very impressive.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Right, let's see, for some reason it's not letting me
I did one small thing.
do
I
that.
did
For
one
some reason.
small
Why are you not letting me do that?
and two and
Ah, it's not letting me do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself.
Adam.
Okay, so I will be right back. I'm just going to take a small break while I wait for my paint to dry. I'd have myself back into the stream does help. Otherwise, I have no idea. Actually, I don't need them on, do I? Realising I don't just leave my headphones on because I can hear apparently. But I do need to start my camera out so they're actually shining at me. Not my camera, my light. Right, so hopefully that should be all the ivory pieces coming up. I'm going to move him out of the way because these are the people that we'll be doing. So next is red. On this bit, I'm going to need quite a small brush because all the red bits are very, very tiny. So we'll be using a, if we can get that on there, very small brush, which in this case is a 3-0. You can go smaller into like a 5-0 or something similar, but that's just way too small as far as I'm concerned. And it's like 3 bristles. So a 3-0 will do fine for what we need it for. And we're going to start with the guys who we did the cloak for. I'm going to paint all the little red bits. So in this case, it's all the wax seals that are holding on the pieces of paper. And I just realised I've missed some pieces of paper on him. So he has one wax seal, and here's the fun bit. We're doing eyes as well. So all the eyes are red. Very, very careful, just little dots. Using the side of the brush to, does that actually show who's got red eyes? No, you can't tell. You just got to take my word for it, he has red eyes. But while I'm sat here and I've still got wet ivory paint, I shall redo the little tiny bits that I missed. Make sure the paint thinned out again. Again, I am also not using a wet palette, but I have one of those set up at the moment. Which makes this bit all, oh no, I have found another piece of red, so I don't have more red to do. I think that's good. But it's not good, but I just found it now before I moved on. I'm not sure how I missed it because it's dangling off on its own.
Okay. I'll go.
There we go. And welcome back to you too. Welcome back for everybody. If you've enjoyed your small little trip away, doing whatever it is you've had to do. Hope you had fun doing it. I end up with more paint on my hand than doing the models in this case, but hey. Let's see how it goes. And again, I want to use more of the side of the brush than the actual point. Because I don't want to get all in the recesses, but I do want to get all the raised areas. Because I'm using such a small brush. Just take a little bit longer. There we go, let him go. He snapped his sword, that wasn't good. Cool. So his red piece is not nice. Ah, my nose is doing random. So his little red piece is there. So this is why I like the other camera, which is currently broken on this one, because it lets me zoom in a little bit closer, so I can almost use the screen to actually paint by. Whereas in this case, because I'm using a front-facing camera, my other phone just died on me at the beginning of the stream. I'm not bitter about that at all, honest. I'm having to use the other phone with the broken camera on the back. See, now can I even see that red bit? Yeah, you can. You can see the red bit. That's good. Oh, about that. Oh, only just see that red. Let's go back and double check him. I've not missed a minute. No, he only has the one. Yep, he's got one on his shield. Probably gonna have some more. There's two there on his gun holster. So take those in. Hopefully all these are going to dry, so I'm going to go look for the ones that have red bits in the areas that we're going to be going to wash brown. So there's another one. We're going to be washing the parchment on him and the banners. So we want to get those red bits painted in first so we can get a chance to dry. His arm really does need gluing in place because that is quite loose. But until it's finished, I'm going to leave it loose so I can get in behind it. Bit on his plate there, the one on his leg. His arms just fell off. Which I'm not overly worried about. Just making sure I get all these red bits. And the bits that I need to have ivory. Oh, wait, we stay there. Yeah, I left that in the pot. That would not have been good. He's not glued at all. These were the easy build ones that you would have got if you bought the Indomitus set. So they kind of go together, just kind of slot together initially, but can be quite loose. So you should glue them really. But for the purposes of painting, you can dry fit the model, see which bits need to be done where. No, Super Glue doesn't melt them. Super Glue melts the polystyrene if you're trying to do scenery or anything like that. Super glue from that one. It's, believe it or not, it's actually the real glue that melts it, and that's how you get such a strong bond, because it kind of melts the surface on both of them and then binds them together as one piece. Yes, that is a good plan if you intend to have it so it's interchangeable and you can swap all the weapons out and all the different arms. As a lot of mine only come with one weapon choice, there's not really much point in magnetizing, and I have so many, so that I actually have the choices to go like swap him out for one that has that, and then swap him out for one that has that, and I have most options available just by physically swapping the model. Which might sound a bit overkill to some people, but it means I can feel at least one of everything. So that's you waiting to dry. So 1, 2, 3. See, that's 4 done already in there. That's not too bad. Wash the brush. Well, he'll buy the complete box as opposed to the easy build set. As I like a bargain and don't like paying full retail for anything, you're going to buy it. All mine were done on the cheap. So I bought one Indomitus box. My friend bought one Indomitus box, and we just swapped the parts over that we didn't want for each army. And then with this new magazine that's coming out, I am cherry picking the issues that I want. So in this case, I bought the 4-boss lieutenant a couple of weeks ago. I bought an extra unit of aggressors, which are these 3 big chunky ones, just to make up a nice 3 sets of 3. I also bought the lieutenant when he came out on issue 1 because it was ridiculously cheap, and a lieutenant with that shield and sword and pistol can also double as the veteran for Blade Guard Veterans books. So buying a few of those meant I ended up expanding the amount of Blade Guard Veterans I could feel, just by spending a tenner as opposed to what, 30 odd quid for a box of Blade Guard Veterans. Is it? I think it's certainly not £10 for 3, and they all get a nice gun to represent a plasma gun. I do like my plasma guns. I have melters available. I have those cannons available in my first Bomber Marines, but I do like a good plasma gun. I've always liked my plasma guns. Even before these nice new primaries came out, I used to use a lot of them. Well, you can, most of the, if you're using the first Bomber Marines and you buy any box of first Bomber Marines, really, they're usually interchangeable, even if it's Grey Knights, Blood Angels, Space Wolf boxes. They will usually all interchange with the standard tactical box. And more little red bits that I've missed. No, you've only got the one. So that's when Games Workshop used to be quite good at when they made the models like that. Now, however, they eke out every last penny they can give you by not giving you all the options that you will want in one box. New Art Boys, for instance, you cannot actually make a full set of Art Boys with choppers and sluggers out of the new Art Boys box set. You have to buy multiple box sets because they force you to give some of them shooters, and one of them a big weapon, and one of them to be the unit leader. The only problem is these things come in units of 30 if you want them to. So effectively only getting 9 models, because you don't need another leader if you're just going to put another 10 models into the unit. So the effect, so 9 models is not enough to make up the full unit from the 10-man squad that you initially bought. If you're lucky, you actually get 6 out of the box. Yeah, don't buy. I don't blame you. I really don't blame you for not wanting to get into this, because it is a ridiculously expensive hobby that takes up a lot of time. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 odd years. I'm only just getting to the point now where I'm thinking, okay, I should paint these things, because I've always enjoyed the playing more than the painting. Painting is not one of the things that I've enjoyed about this hobby. But as it comes down to the fact that nobody else is going to paint them except for me, and if I want it to look like a good looking army on the table, then I'm going to have to paint it. Finding time and dedicating time to it is not always perfect, because things happen. Sometimes your attention's drawn away to more important things. So recently I have managed to dedicate some time to it, and I've been getting quite good results for the time that I've been spending on it. Did I do him? Yes, I did him. Did I do him? Yes, I did him. Wow, really? I'm down to the last one? No, because I missed that bit off his, which means the paint's now dried on the brush. Oh, tanks are fine. You can tell him you're doing an Emperor's Armored Fist, and it should stop him whinging. Don't have to do Games Workshop ones. If you can convert or paint a standard tank to the sufficient levels, is, well, apart from tournament organisers who might not like it, if you play most friendly games, they wouldn't be too bothered if you turned up with a Sherman tank instead of a Lehman Russ tank and said, that's a Lehman Russ. Most people will probably be okay with it, because it's a tank at the end of the day. It represents a tank that's on the battlefield. That's kind of what you want it to do. Yeah, I'm going to paint a lot more of these red, aren't I? I forgot about that. So let's do a little bit on this one, and then we'll come back in with a bigger brush and do the red fists. Again, this is one of the problems with the easy build, because I don't get all the weapon options with them. So these all have flamers, where in fact I want them to have the pew pew guns. And the things that should go on the backpack, which mine don't have. So if I was to ever enter an official tournament, these would have to have the flamers that they've actually got given. When I play my friends, however, as long as they can see that that's the unit on the board and they can tell which unit it is, what gun they've got in the hand, doesn't really make a difference. As long as I've paid the correct points costs, my friends and people are usually quite happy to go, yeah, no, that's fine. They've got a different gun that are available to take. Okay. Now to do all that red bit, because that is a lot of red. Water that down a little bit. And all these vista bits, because I want them to be represented as more of a bolt gun than a flamer. I'm going to paint them red like I do with all my bolt guns. Let's move you out of the way a minute, and you. And I can get under the light and under the camera a bit better. So all these fist bits are going to be bright red. But I need to also do this because I lost my nose in the camera shot. Even though you can only see the top of my hat. I know. Sorry about that. But it's better than my shining bald spot. A nice muted grey tone.
Mommy.
I've got a feeling very soon I'm going to have to stop this because the television will want to go on.
Mommy. I can't wait. Oh, hey! Look! Please. Hey, blocks and
Oh, crud.
Mommy.
That's my
I
bad.
said,
That's too
oh,
bad. Because it's gone dark outside today, mate. It goes dark at this time. It's winter. Oh, dear.
What's that letter for?
That letter is for when I need to go for a break.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, that one says I'll be right back because I'm going for a cig break. I'm not using it now, though.
Mommy, look. Uncle Brock says Daniel over there.
Yeah.
No.
I'm catching on the other side there. But his actual fist itself, I want to still remain black, so just getting the panels along that. And then for the other side. Well, these have already been based in ivory bolt gun mix. To help me try and get a bit more of a brighter red, particularly on the top where the light would be shining.
Yes.
But they will be getting a wash afterwards to tone them in like the rest of the model.
How do I get in?
It's two big red fists on. Yeah, he has. I haven't spoken to him for a while, but then again, I've been AWOL regarding that as well because of illnesses. As you can no doubt hear going on, not only with me, but in the background. Hopefully, everyone else in the house is coming to the tail end of it, so that it's all going to get better very soon. I, however, seem to be just starting. But with my age-old method of gargling stuff to sort my throat out and sort that section of my nose out, hopefully I should be okay to a degree. Not completely fine, but able to function without coughing every 30 seconds and being in the position that they were in over the last 2 weeks, because that was a really horrible condition that they were in. Rather not be in that position as well. This one happens to have a big skull on the end of his fist, or on this side of his fist. I've just noticed. I say I've just noticed. I already knew about, but I've only just remembered. Make sure I get the back plate down on that first. Almost like a connecting piece for the flamer and the power fist. Even though, as I said, I don't want to fill them with flamers. I want to fill them with bolt stone gauntlets. Is you doing them all at once? Just going through from start to finish with one after the other. Should record it all in one lot and then spend a week editing.
Oh.
Now, I don't want to get that bit that I've just painted ivory, so I'm going to be extra careful around here. Otherwise, doing all that little bit would have been pointless. Another good thing about me actually wearing my glasses this time is I can see the bits that I couldn't see last time where I would have missed. Right in there. And in there. Oh, didn't you get only fills as well? Right, so he's going to start off at the first series of each one and work his way through. I still need to catch up a bit on some of those. But then again, there's also a few other things I need to catch up on as well. There's the Tales of Arise that I'm watching Let's Play through on. I need to catch up on. There is also the Dungeons and Dragons streams that I need to catch up on, as well as prepare for my own Dungeons and Dragons games, which I do on Friday evenings. I've just got a party of 5 now. So that means all my balancing that I was doing for a 3-person party has just gone right out of the window. And I've now got to balance it for 5 people. Which is not as easy as it sounds once you've been balancing for 3. And you're a new DM. Here's hoping I can get some tips to actually do it when I play. Right, oh, no, oh yes. I've missed something there. I've definitely missed something there. This is number 3 for the power fist and red bits, and hopefully this is the last of the red bits, apart from eyes, which I've just forgotten about until this very moment, because they all need red eyes. You think red eyes make evil people. Remember, these are the defenders of humanity. If we were to live in this universe, I would really want these guys to show up to help me should an orc decide that he wants to raid my planet. Because it's certainly what I want to live on Earth. Nice agri roll out of the way. That's that side.
Okay.
The last gauntlet. We'll come back in with a little.
Two. This is come down.
Like, I've not finished watching all of those. Problem is when I watch videos, I usually only get 20 minutes, 15-ish, as I'm outside having a cig, which is when I do most of my video watching. If you've done a half an hour video, I'll generally have to watch bits and come back to it later. Says the guy who's so far been doing a 2-hour video. Very nice, I know. But even during my videos, I have to stop. Because I use my phone as a camera, I don't get to watch videos while I'm out there. Which means I'm quicker. And I get to come back in and carry on. My nose is tight to the now. I will have to come off this once the Formula One replay starts, which I believe is not too far away. Is it 6? No, so I've still got a bit of time. Also doesn't mean I might be sat here for that whole length of time because I might actually finish. Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Mommy! Mommy.
I'm actually finish what I wanted to do
That's what
within
fire,
reasonable
fire,
time.
fire.
And without going off subject
Mommy.
too much.
Fire, 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 good.
I mean, I've already got off subject more than once. Oh, did they? Used to know where to keep them on.
Mommy.
Well, that sucker can almighty amount, doesn't it? That sucker can almighty amount. That it goes in 12 hours. That means you've either got to keep re-uploading.
No, Mommy, look. It's
Oh, it's gone.
Yay. Go on, play it.
It appears to be very, very dark behind me. Good, the phone's not dying on this time. Ah, there's another red bit.
Fire, fire, fire.
Oh, so I believe that is all the red bits that need to be done. Ah, bright light. Yeah, I couldn't be doing with 12 hours and then delete. Whether I like it or not, YouTube's going to keep these up until I delete them, which is fine. Now, where's that one that I did? Aha, there he is. Okay, so now we're on to the bit that I was quite reluctant to do, which is the contrast pack. So I'm going to start with. Well, we're going to start with this gentleman's cloak. Which pretty much is most of the model. And as I want it to look like leather, I do not need to water down the contrast paint. And it's just one coat, making sure you get everywhere that you wish. And keep it at an angle where it will flow naturally into the recesses and crevices where you want it to be. It has got a lot of flow aid in this. So if you're not careful, you end up with it pooling too much and not necessarily in the correct areas because you're holding it at the wrong angle. So because I've not glued your arm in place, I can move that out of the way. This, again, the good thing about easy builds, they will hold in place without being glued to a certain degree. Which means you can maneuver things out of the way. And move things because something's a bit more difficult to get to. Again, see way too much on there. So let's pull some of that down. Help it pull towards the bottom. And to the other places where I would like it to be. Gloves. That's the back of his hand. And his sleeve. As his sleeve is part of the jacket, even if he's not wearing it on the other arm. I also would like his gloves to be leather as well, rather than power armed. Get in there. Finish with the last of his cloaking. It does at the minute, while it looks very, very wet. There's the other one where I've already done it. But as you can see, it doesn't look quite as bronzy once it's dried and it's been finished off with a bit of a dry brush. But while it's wet, yes, you're right, it does look quite bronzy. But it is also sopping wet at the moment. Okay, now, how am I going to try and thin this down? A little bit of it, put it into the palette. Wash my brush off. And let's get a pipette of water. Just try to brush off a bit so it's not really too much. And just one drop. Pop that bubble. See, that's a lot more watery now. So I should be able to go over these parchment clips. And just a small little bit of kitchen towel to dab off any excess. Just a bit more of a dry brush on them afterwards, and that should be quite good actually. Not bad than I thought it was going to. Again, just tiny a little bit, very thin down. This is quite weird because I can see it flowing. Each time I touch. It just seems to flow a little bit. Oh, there we go. Because I don't want these to look like leather. Yeah, I want these to look more like a dirty white. Or dirty ivory, should I say. Shall I use the washed out version? So it does end up more yellow than brown. But it's gun holster if we want brown. So we have to come back in and then I want to do that bit. Ah, this really do my head in now. This sniffle. I'm sorry for having to listen to me sniffle and do all that all the way through this. It's not ideal, I know. But the other way to get this done, I have to get off my backside and do it, regardless of whether or not my nose is going for a marathon or not. So just touch it and let it flow into the parts where it would flow into. So a little bit of scouse then, into the parts. Yeah, clear. That's my play stage, just in case you're tuning in. Translated from length to scouse for you. So yeah, watering down the contrast paste does seem to work and stops you having the really dark, deep brown. Kind of makes it more yellowy, like think like papyrus papers when it ages. Gotta love a loop over it. I mean, it does kind of work. And obviously the back's going to be a lot shaded, a lot more shaded. May need to be brown. You can go all the way again because you're on the same way. Have you been done? No. So you have. I'm going to work through these in the assembly line method. So when anyone who's been done will be put to my left. That means all the ones on the right need to be done still. I've not actually got that much room. So we shall see how it turns out. So far, there are all the ones that have been done. That's him done. Now, where's the dude with the missing arm? Which is out there. See, that's very brown. That's going to be a big highlight. Or a definite dry brush to bring that layer back up. Because that looks like he's wet himself. Looks more of that colour than brown, really. Wetting himself is not what I wanted the colour of his loincloth to look like. But it flows so well. I'm going to have to play about with the tone. I'll just give the entire model a general base overlay, like I did with wherever he's got him. So then everything looks similar and kind of all blends together. So eventually, once I've done all these parts, I have to make up some more watered down contrast. So once I've finished with all the base tones and all the colours, they will all be getting a singular tone, light dry brush over the top, which will hopefully, in theory, bring all the models in together and tone all the colours and bring it all so it looks all the same, like it's all part of the same thing rather than each thing's been painted over individually, all separate. So bits of paper. Let's go back over that because that was rather.
Dog. No dog. Daniel, please.
A lot of things you try to tell no, you've already got lots of stuff on.
There.
I don't have those.
And the next dude. So far he's working out kind of like he expected. In fact, a little bit better than he expected.
What would you like?
But if I'm honest, my expectations were not that high because I'm not that great at a painter. So let's turn it back around so you can actually see what I'm doing as I'm painting again, rather than just looking at the top of my hat, which is what you've done through most of this video, because I've got to look at the model and the model's down below me.
Mommy, how many episodes? Two! Two of Daniel's in. Mommy, Daniel very soon.
No, I'm going to turn it back around because otherwise it's not going to work.
Go to download because you have too much stuff on.
Another little bubbles.
If you play that other one, that one's downloading.
No, I don't. So what?
We stain tablets.
Mommy,
See what it looks like at
so
the
let's
minute.
get rid of something. Get it, put it on.
Again, I do apologise for the background noise,
But not.
but then again, you might find it amusing as well. So I'm not going to try and stop him. He's sat in the living room where he's allowed to be.
You don't. I love
If anything, it would be me being a complete idiot if I honestly expected a toddler to just shut up just because I've got a camera on. Right, nearly. So that's getting through these pretty darn quickly. Now I am anyway. Having to do the base coats took forever.
Which
And
one's
Does your shield come off? Yeah, he does. So I'm actually getting behind there now. And there, and there. And get into those and a little bit around his abdomen. And tiny bit parchment on there. Hey. Nothing on there. Nope. So next. Nothing on that shield. Good.
It's done it for mum.
Why can't I say?
The whole world can hear you, that's why.
You can. The whole world can hear you, mate. The whole world can hear you. Well, you could if the whole world was watching.
They have potential to.
Luckily for you, only 2 people are watching Daddy at the moment, so only 2 people can hear you.
Yes, but it's up there.
It is up there, and there's nothing stopping coming on afterwards and watching it afterwards. So yes, the whole world might hear you eventually. but that would require Daddy to develop something, and that's called personality. And you don't have to be too scared of that, mate. No, Daddy has lots of opinions. Daddy doesn't have lots of personality. There's a bit of a difference. You already know my opinion about opinions. If you don't, just go to the toilet and see what happens when you go squat down, and it amounts to the same thing. And that is my opinion on opinions. Tell you once you water down this contrast paint, you don't have to dry up quick. Nice big blob of it there, even though we've only got what, 3 models to do. Spot of water, watch it, I'll go all weird. Mix it round. Start at the top and let it run. Kind of.
What do you want for tea?
Start at the peaks. Ooh, what do I want for food for tea? I don't want to eat this evening. I had pizza last night, so I don't wish to do that again because that was bloody expensive. That was what we've got him to cook. And I'm not quite sure what we have him to cook, to be honest. I know we'll have vegetables, we'll have chips of some description in. Quite a few, we should have quite a few things in, but I don't know what we have. Pardon me. I missed the piece of parchment. That is never a good thing. Now, I've got a feeling it started out lighter over here than it's ended up darker over here. It has. That's why, because I was right. My gut feeling was right. It started out lighter over here and ended up darker over as it progressed through. For some strange, bizarre reason, but that's happened. So let's go back over, even out with the darker ones, and just make sure I come back in with the dry brush later. Well, I should have said another time because these are going to take forever and a day to dry. I don't know why contrast does take a little bit longer to dry than standard paint if you're using it. Maybe because you're applying it thicker coats. Ooh, I don't know what's for tea either, Steve. Steve. I'm trying to figure out. I'm not sure if we've got any pies left in. I don't think we have. I know we've got chicken, we've got burgers. Should have some sausages left as well. Sausage, chips and beans? Or sausage, chips and veg? Oh, we have all of it, I suppose. Veg, beans, chips, sausage. That'll do me fine. So whether or not you'll eat it.
How many?
3 sausages, please. 3 sausages. I'm feeling hungry. DWSLOM. Right, you're gonna have to. You have to break down that acronym that you've done, because I've got no idea what you're on about. Because if you've been watching for that long, you would have also heard me reference the fact that I'm stupid and dumb. Sausage. We have no eggs in. We've got no eggs, so it can have to be beans and veg, along with the chips. Steve recommended eggs with tea, but we don't have any eggs in at the moment because I forgot to get them when I went shopping, I think. I knew there was something else on the list as I was walking around, but I just couldn't remember what it was. And now I do. It was eggs.
Look at
Back to the wee steel tabards. It's not the Marines we, it's their enemies as they wet themselves. Such a nice thought, isn't it?
cat.
Okay, so that wash didn't quite go as according to plan, but it worked kind of. Because it's got a bit of a lighter tone than the full contrast, and it's letting more of the underlayer through. A dry brush should let it work properly. I'm just going to go back over a couple of places just to make sure I've got it. And turn it around so I can actually see properly. And then continue to get annoyed at the fact that that phone is echoing. Stupid smart tech. If it was smart tech, it would have known I've muted the mic and didn't want to pick it up. But no, it's smart tech. So it automatically assumes it knows best and just won't let it turn it all the way down. I have headphones connected to my PC for crying out loud. I don't need you to be a speaker as well. See? I can already hear the things in the room around me. I don't need the phone to do it as well. I'm staying out of the domestic if you're having the domestic in there. Right, okay. So let's see. DWSLOF. Right, now I get it. Mine is currently coughing her lungs up behind me and running into the kitchen. But I have one of them also. I have a darn wonderful shining light of my life. Who, believe it or not, is actually getting better. Any chance you won't believe me because that's a lot of coughing. But she's actually getting better. Slowly. Okay, so this should be now my final set of contrast application, and this is going on neat because I want it to be the leather gun holsters and the leather pouches on the backs. I just realised I've missed on that, but that can't be shadow. It's all underneath, so it'd be shady here anyway. I always know everything underneath a man's legs is always shady. And avoid going near it. Let the plague if you can. So, another gun. Another pistol holder. I've got to look up now because well, you shouldn't have made a bet with him. But there's one thing I've learned about those from near the Mersey is if there's a chance that they will win and get something out of it, they will make sure they do. I mean, look at how they ripped off the league last year. Did it even play all the games and they managed to get that one? Was it last year or the year before? Never better scouts, because by hook or by crook they will try and win. I suppose is the main point in taking part. What serious shoulder pads?
Yeah.
Those? No, they're not too bad. There's a lot of work to still be done on the shoulder pads though, because I've not got through to the wash stage for them yet, which I really should actually, because they're quite an important part of the army colour scheme. So I really should be getting them up to a brighter blue. But I haven't new toys thanks to Ezra. I have contrast paints. So I'll have a little bit of zeal and drive because of them, and make sure I get as much done as I can in that time. Oh dear. Your brush is really dry brushed. But still, you'll work. I have confidence in my almost non-existent abilities. This is only my blade guard that I'm doing. I'm only doing blade guard at the moment. Which, granted, these will probably be the first ones that you. These will probably be the closest ones to you if you teleport in. But behind them will be a great big whopping gun one. And I do like my plasma. And any of your strike squads will not like my plasma. No, I call them shoulder pads as well. I don't call them pauldrons like most other people would call them. I call them shoulder pads. Because the pads and they go on your shoulders. So therefore they are shoulder pads. Countless military people out there who sit there and go, no, they're not the pauldrons. Or historical people who sit there and go, no, no. It's like, I don't care what you say. It's my army. I'm right. Thank you. And I still don't care if you write down the word pauldrons, just as shoulder pads. Call them whatever you wish, but for me, they are shoulder pads. Told you my reasoning on it, and my reasoning is sound. Make sure you get nice deep dark recesses in some of these. Having to go back to the pot all the time is a bit of a pain. Yeah, A, not having an airbrush, and B, airbrush is not giving you the effect that you actually want. Because you just apply it like a straight paint. You have to go back and do it again. Make sure we leave some in the recesses this time. There we go. Bum bag thing. All this technology, all this armor, what do you go do in these little leather pouches? I usually only saying that because, well, there's a possibility that I might actually be a little bit of a better painter than she is. Not much of a better painter, but at least a little bit. Now, have you dried? Oh, you have. That's good. That means I can go get the. Where's my black? There's red, ivory, brown. Where's my black? Alright, Steve, what have you done with my black? I've got a black contrast paint. What have you done with it? Fine, I'll go see what's on the paint tray. Ah! I have found it. I have found the black.
Awesome!
It is awesome, isn't it? I found the black.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Well, that's good because I get to use it now. Nice clean brush. What are you doing? You really are just a mini me, aren't you? You're off your bleeding head. I'm getting dizzy. Right, you're going to look shiny as heck. Well, I go over and do the same on this one. That should be two Judicas, Justicas. What are these things called again? It's ones like kind of like chaplains, but not as good. Anyway, yeah, them ones.
Now you go in. Yeah.
Hey, Steve's eyes are fake red. That's always good. Aha. Okay, so for today's video, that I believe is everything I wish to accomplish, try, and find out the result from. And in this case, I have found out some very good results. Yes, you can use contrast paints as washes. No, I am not as good a painter as I wish I was, but that ain't going to stop me from trying later on. Just got to wait till all them dry properly, and then I will be dry brushing them later. Only a slight dry brush with ivory, because that's the colour that I'm using to tone it all together. So let's get them all roughly back into shape. And you're missing a full arm, aren't you? You're the one who doesn't like going on to the actual. There we go. So your other arms fell off. Wonderful. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get on there, you. There we go. And I just realised I've missed a load of red on him. Yeah, I missed a lot of red on him. Jeez. Alright, where's my little tiny brush? So, I'm not finished yet when I thought I had finished. You get to stay and watch me a little longer if you wish. Thank you. In this case, I'm just going to wet my brush. Take a tiny bit of red off there. Some red up there. And red up those two places as well. Are there any more that I've missed on you? Yeah, I seem to have done a really bad job of actually getting coverage on this one, haven't I? Jeez. I just messed up from start to finish, apparently. So it should have been over a while ago. It's apparently continuing on because I'm a dingbat.
Big iron frog. A big iron frog. Very big.
You can mark that out.
Big one of them.
Catch that bottom bit.
Big and strong. Big and
Are you big and strong, mate? On the back of his urine stained. Tap that. Blank cloth thing.
Thank you. Let's go on. Go on. Go on. Go on.
Okay, now while all them dry, I shall prepare my food. And when next you see me, or when next you see pictures of these, they will hopefully be a lot more finished. Until the next time I'm on, thank you very much for viewing. Thank you very much for coming in to see me. Remove that one because that's the one that's not using the microphone at the moment. Enjoy the rest of your days, and thank you again for coming to watch me practice my painting. I'm still not very good, but I'm getting better. Bye.